Well, merry meet again, my tubies. I know it's been a while since I had a video. Sure, you're excited about it. I'm excited about it too. A lot of you probably know, some of you don't know. If you don't know, now you'll know. Uh, I do a show with my friend Candelo on Monday nights. I'm the co-host of Candelo's Corner. You can find it at blogtalkradio.com/Candelo's Corner. You can Google that. Um, and he asked me to make a video for our next upcoming show based on some stuff that we were ranting about on the last show. Uh, it turns out, and I found this fascinating, there's a group of Orisha practitioners in Sweden, and they listen to the show regularly, and they sent in a question for him, which probably be the basis of our next show, or a lot of what we're going to talk about on our next show. You know, we don't always stay on topic on the show, but we always have a lot to say and a lot to talk about on the show. So tonight's episode, holy water, DIY, do it yourself holy water. I talked about that a little bit on the show. I always believed that in classical witchcraft we make our own holy water. Um, now, so before the show, I went and I checked some of my facts and found out, yeah, I'm absolutely right. The way that witches are making their holy water is totally based on the traditional method of making holy water. Now, first of all, you're going to need a white bowl for making holy water. This one's got a Chinese symbol for love on it. I'll turn it around that way. You don't need that. You just need a white bowl for mixing your holy water. That's traditional. You're going to need some salt. Sea salt, one of my favorites. Definitely, if you're making traditional holy water, kosher salt makes a lot of sense too. Um, and you're going to need some water. So first thing with holy water, we need a natural source of water. We need spring water, usually. Rainwater is also done. When I lived by the beach, I used seawater. I'd run across the beach and get some seawater. It's already got some salt in it. I'd still add some salt because, at least for the holy water, salt was always part of it. And traditionally, 3 pinches of salt.
Uh, First off, so we're making it ourselves, so we don't have to go to the church and steal their holy water, or so we don't have to buy holy water online somewhere. Witches do it themselves. We bless our temple every time. We consecrate our temple every time. So that brings us to the first thing. Making holy water, the first thing is consecration. Consecration, old word that basically means making something sacred, taking away its mundane purpose in the world and dedicating it towards its mystical or magical purpose that we're going to use it for. In witchcraft, we do that with all of our magical tools. We do that with all of our items, everything that we're going to be using for our magic. We're going to consecrate, bring out those mystical energies of it. So I went just to check myself, make sure I really know my shit, which, I'm pretty sure I do. I went and did a little bit of research to check my facts, and I was kind of blown away that the words used for the consecration of the salt and the blessing of holy water are almost the exact same words used in classical witchcraft and Wicca, at least the branches that come from the European strains. We definitely will find it in Gardnerian witchcraft. So I did a little bit more research, and it turns out that the words for consecrating the salt and blessing the holy water come from the Solomon, where most witchcraft is going to treat itself back to or element of. With few people putting that kind of knowledge in books back in the day. So I've always said this, and one of the first things I have my students do in my classes is study the Keys of Solomon. If you can wrap your head around it, if you can figure out how to read the weird way that they used to speak, we call it mage speak. One of the first books that I started with. And if you want to do that, I'll tell you really quick. Do it like Mom told me. I went and I tried to understand the Keys of Solomon when I was a kid, and she said sleep on it. Came back the next day. I said, "Oh, okay, I slept on it. I still don't understand." She goes, "What do you mean that you slept on it?" I said, "Well, I went to sleep. I woke up. I still didn't know." She says, "No, sleep on it. Put the book under your pillow and sleep on it." Seemed pretty ridiculous, but I was studying witchcraft. Everything we do is crazy to somebody else. So I did that, slept on it, and amazingly enough, shit made sense the next day when I read it. And every time I slept on it, it made more sense. And it's a really hard read because it's like reading Shakespeare or something. People just don't talk like that anymore. So you've got to wrap your head around this ancient mage speak that they used to use. So at any rate, the first thing that you do for making holy water is the consecration of the salt. You put the salt in in a white vessel, white bowl, that kind of thing. And typically in witchcraft, we would be doing a meditation where we're sending our roots down to the earth, drawing the white light of creation up through our bodies and through our hands. And then other forms of witchcraft are going to be drawing the energy, the white light of the gods through the top of their head, coming out through your hand again. And then we're channeling that white light into the salt. Now the words, consecration for the salt, I'm going to read it off to you here. Almost the exact same words you're going to find in witchcraft. The blessing of the Father Almighty upon this creature of salt. Let all malignancy and hindrance be cast forth from, and let all good enter herein. For without thee, man cannot live. Wherefore I bless thee and invoke thee, that thou mayest aid me. That's the salt. So that's the Catholic one. Now then in witchcraft, we would blow 3 breaths onto the salt. For the salt, we breathe in through our nose, out through our mouth. Kind of shallow puffs, small puffs, 3 puffs. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. The reasons why are much more complicated, and I can't really get into in this stage of the game. Then we go on to the bowl. The bowl of water. So we have a bowl of spring water or maybe rainwater, some other natural source of water. I'm going to take 3 pinches of the salt into the bowl. Now, over the water, there's also a blessing that we find very common in the other strains of magic too. I exercise thee, O creature of water, by him who hath created and gathered thee together into one place, so that dry land appeared. That thou uncover all deceits of the enemy, and thou cast out from thee all the impurities and uncleanliness of the spirits of the world of phantasm, so they may harm me not through thy virtue, or through the virtue of God Almighty, who liveth and reigneth unto the ages of ages. Amen. That's the consecration of the water. Then, typically, Psalms, in the Catholic, Psalms are read. Psalm 103. Psalm 103 is the traditional psalm to be prayed over by the holy water. So, as I said on the show, and I always say, holy water is salt water blessed by a priest. In witchcraft, we are our own priest, we are our own priestess. We DIY, we're doing it ourselves. So, before reading the Psalm 103, right after saying the consecration over the bowl, then we take 3 deep breaths through our mouth, blow each breath into the water. So long breaths this time. We're wanting to see the water move. We're blowing down into the water. And this comes from witchcraft. I do not see the Catholics expressing this part. So I'm kind of mixing them together.
and maybe making a better way to make a holy water. Maybe there's some little things that somebody lost along the way, and between the two cultures or the many cultures, we will find those pieces and piece them back together. So 3 deep breaths, blown into the water, then reciting the Psalm 103 over the water, praying over the water using your hands. Again, which is again, we're going to be channeling that white light, either from the earth or from the Godhead down through us, through our hands. It's just a simple meditation and breathing process that I find so many different practices have in this day and age. It doesn't require a whole lot of explaining. It's a pretty common meditative practice, which was not that common when I was a kid. So, I'm not showing you, I'm explaining it to you. I've got a couple props here, but I'm not going to mix it all up in front of you. I'm just telling you what I know how to do. So, one of the other things that I said on the show, and I double checked. I've been saying the same thing forever. Occasionally I'll go and double check my facts. Found out absolutely I was right. Rue, the Italian ruta, as in cimaruta, which means sprig of rue. So this would actually be an Italian cimaruta. This is sprig of the rue plant. One of the old traditional methods of sprinkling the holy water that some of your older Catholic churches still use to this day. There are other holy plants that other churches use, maybe because it's more plentiful in their region. I don't know exactly why, but rosemary. Rosemary is also pretty commonly, traditionally used for the sprinkling of the holy water. I wanted to check my facts now. Apparently, this custom derived from a Roman ceremony where they used branches of the laurel plant to bless their weapons. And this was called asperging. In the Catholic, we have a word called aspergillum. Aspergillium. I think it's aspergillum. The device, basically the device used for the asperging ritual, being holy, officially called, and really the only that I've heard that word in years is in witchcraft.
We cleanse a place with smoke. That's called censing. Other people call it smudging. But smudging is actually using sage. So censing and asperging. And the asperging is sprinkling the consecrated salt water around the temple space. Curious thing that I found while double checking my research here is from Leviticus chapter 14, a very specific aspergillum recipe there. I don't know if you want to try this at home, but what it called there was a branch of cedar for the handle, and then down the handle, tied to the cedar stick, was a live bird. They don't specify what kind of bird, and a bunch of hyssop, however you want to pronounce that extremely holy herb. And they don't elaborate. Maybe it was tied with a special consecrated string. I don't know. But they, as far as back as Leviticus chapter 14, they were using this aspergillum to sprinkle their holy water. And further reading in that, I think that the specific ritual that they're doing there was to cast out demons, maybe cast out the demons of leprosy. Jury's still out on that one. So here we go. We got an aspergillum. Got your way to make holy water. I don't want to make the video too long. Don't want to make the video too short. I want you to have all the information in there. So you can make your own holy. Make your own traditional holy water. Doesn't matter if you're a witch. Doesn't matter if you're Catholic. Doesn't matter who you are. Holy water has traditional aspects, and now you know the traditional aspects, and you can use that yourself. Now, holy water typically used to consecrate a sacred space. That's why they sprinkle it around churches. That's why
Witches sprinkle it around their circles because we kind of bring our churches with us and set our churches up wherever we are. Maybe because of the long history of our ancestors not being able to stay in one place because they'd be hunted down and killed. That might have something to do with it. But so we take our temple with us. We set our temple up. We consecrate our temple every time. We take down our temple, and that's basically called our circle space. Um, Now, maybe one more. So if you're going to do this, now I don't know. I did not find specific words that the Catholics are using while sprinkling the holy water, though I imagine there are some, probably one of the Psalms. Um, but since these are coming from Solomon in the first place, maybe there's a connection to these words traditionally used in witchcraft. Um, maybe they come from Solomon. I did not find anything on there, but I'm just going to go with that. That seems to be the way that it's working. So, traditionally, in witchcraft, you would be taking the water and sprinkling it around the temple space. Now, first one, we're banishing, so we're probably going to go counterclockwise. And then we're bringing in the good, and then we're going to go clockwise. Banishing is counterclockwise, getting rid of, clockwise, bringing in. So, we'll be taking the water, sprinkling it around, and the traditional words were salt and water by casting thee, no spell or unknown purpose be, except in true accord with me, and as I will, so mote it be. And if you're in a group ritual, everybody repeats so mote it be, and you totally sound like you're in a Catholic church. May the Lord be with you, and also with you. There you have it. Merry meet, merry part, merry meet again, y'all.